Okay. So let me pull this up. Make sure I get, yeah. All right, a little bit. Okay. All right. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago. And today, we're going to be predicting WRESTLEPALOOZA. We finally made it, boys. And of course, if you couldn't tell, guess who's back? I'm back again. Yes. The 2025 WRESTLEPALOOZA, also promoted as WRESTLEPALOOZA Indianapolis, is an upcoming professional wrestling pay-per-view and live streaming event produced by WWE. This will be the 5th WRESTLEPALOOZA, although the first under the WWE banner and the first since 2000, because of course ECW had held the name for it. There have been, of course, 4 others, also the 1995, the 1997, the 1998, and of course the 2000 WRESTLEPALOOZA. This one was special because they wanted, this was going to be, there was a pay-per-view that was leaked to be in September, 3 days before my birthday, mind you, and it will be the first to exclusively be streamed on ESPN, now making the switch over. So let me explain all of you guys on that before I go into all of this, because I think that might help a little bit. So I just gotta find it here. Yes, broadcasting outlets. So I want to make sure that all of you guys are aware and caught up to what's going to be happening for moving forward, of course. So, in the United States, the event will be the first covered by a 5-year agreement between WWE and ESPN Corp, under which main roster live events will be streamed on the ESPN app for subscribers of its network. The agreement succeeds one with Peacock, which concluded after Clash in Paris, although Peacock will remain NXT's live streaming events until March of 2026, as well as other select WWE content. This switch over to ESPN was originally to begin at with WrestleMania 42 in April of 2026. But by a technicality, WWE fulfilled their obligations to Peacock early. That's a plus. So WWE has already got to where they need to be. WRESTLEPALOOZA will be available via both ESPN's unlimited direct-to-consumer subscription. So what that means is that there is a separate subscription that you have to pay for, and it's just a separate payment, which is, of course, $29.99 or $30 for the ESPN Unlimited. Okay, so it gets you everything there. You can, if you have the Disney, Hulu, ESPN bundle, you can switch to that, but I want to make sure everybody's caught up to what that is. So there are tiers. There are tiers for bundles, right? For the Disney, Hulu, ESPN. You have a select bundle. You have a select bundle premium. You have a select, you have a unlimited premium. And the only thing that's different with all of these is pricing and ads. So the lowest tier you can have is a select bundle, okay? This is no premium, so you get all of them, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN with ads, fully with ads. The select premium is no ads. For the unlimited, right? The unlimited bundle, that is with ads on everything. And then the unlimited bundle premium is there will be ads for ESPN, but no ads for Disney Plus and for Hulu. So no ads for Hulu, no ads for Disney Plus, and it's going to cost you it's a $12 difference because there's a promotional deal. Go check it out. $38 or some shit for the bundle, that type of bundle. And that's because of a promotional deal that will be ending by the time you renew it. So that promotional deal will continue until January 5th of 2026. So if I were you guys, I think the bundle would be worth it. We have renewed ours for October, which is perfect. That lines up with what we do for Paramount Plus. So of course we won't be getting a charge of, because the original pricing would be $45 or $44.99, but that won't happen until next year, and it's a payment every month, of course. As well as TV Everywhere authorization for subscribers via participating television providers. Not all television providers reached agreements at launch to carry the new service, with major holdouts including Altice, Cox, Dish Network, Xfinity, and of course, YouTube TV. ESPN stated that it planned to reach agreements with most of their providers by the end of 2025. Hopefully that still stays up and holds up. To promote the event, ESPN2 will broadcast a special on September 19th, hosted by Peter Rosenberg and the Indiana Pacers player Tyrese Haliburton, who's fucking fucked up in the playoffs, mind you. I'm very upset about that because I wanted the Pacers to win. God. Prior to the WWE's pre-show at 5 p.m. Eastern, okay, ESPN's social media platforms will stream a 2-hour ESPN-produced pre-show entitled Road to WrestlePalooza, which will be hosted by none other than Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is a heavy wrestling fan. Shout out, O'Shea. And, of course, TJ Jefferson. The evening edition of SportsCenter will also carry coverage from Indianapolis on September 19th, and WWE talent will make appearances across ESPN productions throughout the week. So, I just wanted to make sure everybody understood what was going on, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was hooked to what I was saying. So again, if you don't have ESPN Unlimited, go look at some deals. If you already have ESPN, like an account for ESPN, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to make a payment. You're gonna have to pay for a premium. Okay? And it sucks because if you already pay for a premium, if you already pay for having your ESPN account, you're gonna need to pay another. It's an additional cost on top of what you're already paying. And I think it's fucking bullshit because this is how they scam you into spending more money. It's complete bullshit. But again, if you're willing to pay 30 extra bucks, you're gonna have to do it, right? Fucking, I'm holding out for Peacock. We're keeping Peacock for the football games, but after that, I'm getting rid of Peacock at the end of the year because there's really nothing for it at this point. It was only for wrestling pay-per-views. That's why I had Peacock. Now we have ESPN through the Disney bundle, which of course is being paid through by my mom. So, and then eventually I'm gonna have to pay for Netflix, which is next. I'm gonna be paying for Netflix. So, again, if you don't already have ESPN Unlimited, direct to consumer subscription, you're going to have to go and get one to watch this event. We're all good. We already got it. We're set. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to watch this. Well, me and Lewis aren't going to be able to watch it because we're going to be celebrating me and my god sister's birthday on Saturday. So again, what I will be doing is when we get home, or so, if the event's over, we're gonna be staying up mad late just to fucking get that, just to watch that event. Maybe they'll show it on the TVs at the casino, but otherwise, I don't think it's, they probably won't. But yeah, once again, if you don't have ESPN's Unlimited subscription, direct-to-consumer subscription, you won't be able to see this event. So you might have to make a switch, and you can do it through the Disney bundles, especially it's easier if you manage it through Disney Plus opposed to Hulu or ESPN itself. Okay? I hope that clears up everything. If you need more information, you can check out ESPN's website. You can check out Disney Plus website. You can even look it up yourself you can look it up. You can look up WrestlePalooza, or you can look up ESPN, WWE, and they will give you all the information that you need. Okay? Now, let's get into what we're looking at here, shall we? Okay. So, we have a bunch of matches to get through. We got 5 matches as of right now. There could be more. If there is more, you can always check my Twitter, or you will see a post on YouTube, most likely on Twitter, Twitter is in the description down below. So let's start with our, what is supposedly going to be, originally not the main event, but supposedly going to be our kickoff, which is John Cena and Brock Lesnar. After losing the undisputed WWE Championship in the main event of Night 2 of SummerSlam, John Cena was confronted and attacked by a returning longtime foe, the Beast Incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar, making his first appearance since the 2023 SummerSlam. 2 weeks later, during WrestlePalooza's announcement, it was also announced that Cena would be competing in the main event. On the September 5th episode of SmackDown, Lesnar interfered in Cena's match, causing the match to end in no contest. This was, of course, his match followed with Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. His last appearance you will ever see from him on SmackDown. Correction. That was a correction. I had to correct that. It's not his last time you see him in Chicago. He'll probably be back in Chicago. But if it is his last time, then, of course, you know, that sucks. But that was his last appearance on a SmackDown. And, of course, Cena was attacked again. Following the attack, Lesnar stated that he would see Cena at WrestlePalooza, and a match between both men was subsequently confirmed for the event. The weeks that followed led to, of course, a SmackDown where Lesnar was interrupted by R-Truth, which got fucking dull as shit. It was a lackluster opening. Lesnar was supposed to explain why he did what he did, so then he can get his final little fucking, you know, hype up for the match. Because those who went to the Springfield event for the go-home show of course, for Raw, Cena cut a passionate promo, and of course, knocked it right out of the fucking park. He said every word that he could literally possibly bring up to hype this up even more. They have fought each other long time ago, and over the span of 20 years, they have fought each other. It's funny how it works. They fought each other in the early 2000s, in the early 2010s, and now they're fighting each other, even in the mids of 2000, in the 2010s. And now they're fighting again, literally, in the 2020s. This is fucking insane. I can't wait to see both men get in the ring and fucking duke it out. But come on, man. You really honestly think that I'm just going to fucking out of nowhere just not go with my boy, John Cena? I am. I think John Cena beats Brock Lesnar, and this is going to be great. Because I don't know how many matches Cena and Lesnar have had with each other, but every time they step in the ring, I know it's going to get physical and it's going to be good. Now, I still think, deep in my heart, Lesnar could possibly win this with the same argument that I had made originally for Logan Paul's match at Clash in Paris. Remember, I said I thought Logan Paul would win because John Cena could put Logan Paul over as a top heel for SmackDown, like how Raw has Dominic Mysterio as a top heel, where everybody can fucking hate him no matter what he does. So, again, in this aspect, it's the same thing, because even if Cena loses, he still has the fans cheering him on, and he's got what he needs. He has the fans. He's got the love and the respect and the hustle and the loyalty that has always came with John Cena. The name John Cena. So, in my hearts of hearts, Brock Lesnar is still somebody I think who will win. And I did not know his middle name was Edward. But my prediction for this match is that John Cena defeats the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. The next match I want to talk about is a match that involves couples therapy. So, this is going to be long. This is all going to be long, but might as well get it out of the way. I'm talking about CM Punk and his wife, AJ Lee, versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. In the main event of Night 1 SummerSlam, CM Punk won the World Heavyweight Championship. However, his longtime rival, Seth fucking Rollins, cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on Punk and won the championship, faking a knee injury, which I still cannot believe we got worked for that. That was a complete work. Seth Rollins would subsequently defend his championship in a fatal four-way match involving Punk at Clash in Paris, along with, of course, Jey Uso and LA Knight. Yeah. Where Rollins successfully retained after his wife, Becky Lynch, performed a low blow on Punk with Rollins pinning him. The following night on Raw, Punk called out Rollins with Lynch appearing instead, stating that she attacked him because Punk walked out of WWE in 2014. Isn't that always the fucking excuse that we get? Isn't that always the excuse that we literally get? Oh my God, I hate you so much because you left the company. You walked out because you had differences with the original boss at the time. Fucking get over it. Like, get the fuck over it. He's back now. He's here to write names and fucking cash in checks. He's not, and if you guys haven't forgotten, he still works with fucking children, mind you, because of this. So, anyway. The fans chanted his name during Lynch's matches and never cared about her. I beg to differ, because the man gimmick got over, and people were definitely talking about her. Nobody was talking about Punk. She also stated that she attacked Punk because of Punk's consistent insults against Rollins. After some more exchanges of words, Rollins eventually appeared on the ramp, and Punk was about to confront Rollins. However, Rollins left, and Lynch subsequently slapped Punk multiple times. Punk also stated that he's going to get his pound of flesh on Rollins, but what Lynch had done, she would regret ever putting her hands on him. So, on the following weeks of SmackDown in Chicago, Punk stated that Lynch would regret her, Rollins and Lynch were interrupted by Punk. And after some exchange of words, Lynch slapped Punk multiple times once again. Punk got out of the ring, unable to, of course, do anything because, of course, he can't hit a woman. But, this is where the men and women shine, baby. Men, even though I think still, if Punk, I feel like in this regard, if Punk needs to slap a bitch, Punk will slap a bitch. All right? I think equal fights. But, see, Punk is a real man. Punk doesn't put his hands on a woman. But, thank God he knows somebody who will. And that brings us out his wife. And a talented writer who had stepped away from the company, along with Punk actually, got married and continued to step away from the ring before, of course, making her return to the WWE for the first time since 2015. Punk then introduced his wife, AJ Lee, who made her return to the WWE for the first time since 2015. Lee battled with Lynch, who rolled out of the ring, leaving behind her championship, which, of course, Lee carried off stage. Or off screen, too. She actually, and Punk got to skip around the ring, too. So happy. So, of course, on the following week's Raw, Lee appeared with Lynch's title around her waist, and she was subsequently interrupted by Lynch, who wanted her title back. Rollins then appeared, and Lee said, if you want your title back, you can have, I'll give it to you. On one condition, of course. You have a match. You have a mixed tag team match with me and my husband. And of course, Rollins wasn't even having any of it. So Rollins got in the ring and says, "Little girl, I'm gonna warn you right now. You're gonna give back the title. We want to get the hell out of this dumpy city." And that's it. So Rollins gets in the ring. AJ Lee proceeds to jump over the title belt. And that, of course, leads to Punk coming out right behind Lynch, sneaking up on Rollins and getting out of Dodge's way. And, of course, Rollins, so flustered and so angry at that, he willingly agreed to that match, of course. Because Rollins initially declined. He said, "Fuck that, we're not doing this tag team match." But after getting pissed off, he did. So, we then got to our final confrontation on that Raw, and oh my God, was that confrontation great. So, we have a couples wrestling match marking Lee's first match in over 10 years, mind you. So, by the build-up by itself, because remember, we follow 4 keys of storytelling. Logic, right? Promos and segments. The in-ring action, the in-ring performance, and then, of course, what the media talks about. By all accounts, logic, in-ring segments. Lee and Punk have killed those segments and those promos. Rollins and Lynch are just playing it off as not wanting to share the spotlight. Punk and AJ Lee should win this 100%. So then it continues. Now, again, if the end game here is for Punk to reclaim the World Heavyweight Championship, then Rollins and Becky Lynch would be your predicted winners. But because we want to continue some length of storytelling, and of course maybe end this dumpy feud, which is probably not going to end, Punk and AJ Lee is your bit here because the whole thing surfaces around Punk and Seth Rollins, which is your main key. AJ's here just to fucking handle Becky. My final prediction is CM Punk and AJ Lee capture the victory against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Speaking of, well, you know, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, we have to talk about Seth Rollins' backup, his boys, because they're in a match with the return of the Usos. Let's talk about it, shall we? So, following WrestleMania 41, Jey Uso has been involved in a rivalry against The Vision, consisting of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. At night 1 of SummerSlam, Jey defeated Breaker and Reed in a tag team match with his cousin, Roman Reigns. And Jey subsequently competed in a Fatal 4-Way match for Rollins World Heavyweight Championship at Clash in Paris in a losing effort. The following night on Raw, Jey subsequently lost a tag team match against Breaker and Reed, with Breaker pinning Jey, of course. Following the match, Breaker and Reed attacked Jey, which prompted his twin brother, Jimmy, to come out and aid Jey. The following week, the Usos were interrupted by Breaker and Reed. After some exchange of words, Jimmy subsequently revealed that they spoke to Adam Pearce, and the Usos would face Breaker and Reed at WrestlePalooza. So again, if you haven't seen, Breaker and Reed have been getting a big push, as if you guys have not seen. Yes, they lost at SummerSlam. Okay, but have you seen fucking Jey took a loss? All right. Then we saw a tag team match on Raw this following week. We saw that the Breaker and Reed got another victory, right? And then I think the week before that, you had you had Reed take on Uso and Reed won, I think. I think so. So a big, massive momentum push for the Braun Breaker Bronson Reed tag team. The Usos don't really have anything to get here, but they do have some retribution to get. So the Usos need to get their retribution. In that regard, the Vision already has momentum. Of course, them taking a loss here will not hurt them as much because they already have so much momentum built up. This is how we gain and lose momentum. Like I've stressed before, but I will stress it again. Gaining momentum has to do with winning matches, cutting good promos, having a good segment, having a good interview. And then how do you lose momentum? The complete opposite. You lose a match. You have a bad promo. You have a bad segment. You have a bad interview. Whatever the case may be. It's just momentum gaining at this point. And as of, and winning and losing tends to be the momentum gainer and loser of the, of it all. But the Vision have been winning a lot in the past weeks leading up to this. So the Usos have more to gain from this than the Vision does. All they get, because then at this point, then we would have to push them into tag team championship contenders, right? If they're winning these matches in tag team forms, they should be pushed up the card for a tag team title opportunity, opposed to, of course, Jimmy and Jey. I would give this one to the Usos just because the Vision ain't going to hurt as much from this. So my final prediction is that the Usos beat the Vision. They beat Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And again, the way WWE makes Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed look good, that's all that really needs to be done here. You need them to, and of the amount of cheers and chants you get with the dogs barking, and of course, the big monster, the big Godzilla going off the top rope for the tsunami. I can't do it like Wade Barry. He does it better. All right. Let's talk about this vacant Women's World Championship match, shall we? So, I still find it I still get a little bit pissed off that we didn't get Stephanie Vakir getting a title match against Naomi for the title at Clash in Paris. But it's whatever. Moving forward, at the All Women's Evolution event, Raw's Stephanie Vakir won the Evolution Battle Royal to earn a Women's World Championship match at Clash in Paris. While later that night, Naomi cashed in her Money in the Bank contract and won the Women's World Championship from Io Sky during her title defense against Rhea Ripley. The next night on Raw, it was confirmed that Vakir's match would be for the Women's World Championship, and it would be at Clash in Paris. So at SummerSlam, subsequently, the following month, Naomi retained her title in a triple threat match involving Sky and, of course, Rhea Ripley. Although Sky was not pinned, Ripley was. Since Sky was not pinned, she was scheduled to face Naomi for the title on the August 11th episode. However, Naomi was not medically cleared to compete, and the title match was canceled. The following episode of Raw, it was revealed the reason why the match was canceled, because Naomi is pregnant. Yep, Naomi would relinquish the title due to maternity leave, as she announced she was pregnant with her first child. Of course, that's all because of Big Jim. Hey! The following week, though, Adam Pearce wanted to make an announcement about it. Announced that a match for the vacant Women's World Championship would not take place at Clash of Paris, though being taken place at a later date. That later date would be, of course, now confirmed, WrestlePalooza. Vakir would challenge a to-be-announced opponent at a later date, and of course, Pearce decided to choose Sky, the former Women's World Champion. So, in the recent weeks, the storyline that we got here isn't really a storyline, because we haven't had a contract signing, which was canceled for some odd fucking reason, maybe to save time or whatever. But Io Sky and Stephanie Vakir are two well-matched wrestlers, but I think it's repetitive here. The only reason I say this is because we have seen Io Sky versus Stephanie Vakir many fucking times on Monday Night Raw. Adam Pearce has seen these two in the ring, and they always had mutual respect for each other. Maybe that's why Adam Pearce chose Io Sky to be Stephanie's opponent. But everything changes down the line. And what I mean by these changes is that Rhea Ripley's still lurking around, Nikki Bella's still lurking around, and so is, of course, Io's old friends, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Now, Asuka and Kairi Sane are trying to look out for Io so that she doesn't get hurt, she doesn't get damaged. Io doesn't need you bitches. Like, she's on her own level. She's the genius of the sky. Asuka's the Empress of Tomorrow, and by all accounts, Kairi Sane is just a lackey. Or, I'm sorry, a pirate Disney princess. So, with all the involvement with Ripley, with Io Sky, and Asuka and Kairi Sane, it only spells out to me that Stephanie Vakir is winning this match. Because, give me a minute. All right. So, with everybody, like I was back to, as everybody is involved in this, Io, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Rhea Ripley, it only spells out one thing. Stephanie Vakir is winning the Women's World Championship. And I think that's a good decision, honestly. Io Sky has held the title many times, and of course, she's already established. Stephanie Vakir, on the other hand, has worked her way up to a point where she She has like earned it. She's built up herself to earn this spot and this opportunity, and she's not gonna let that go to waste. And everybody seems to love her. And one of the things I want to see is, of course, Stephanie facing Rhea Ripley.
Fat queer, go.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Go. So, my prediction for this is Stephanie Vakir wins the Women's World Championship, and eventually, at maybe whatever the next fucking pay-per-view is. Actually, Clash. Yes. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. So at Clash, in Parth, she'll face Rhea Ripley, which is even a better thing. So now we have what could honestly at this point be possibly the main event: Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. So I don't think it deserves a main event. I think Lesnar and Cena does, but whatever. On the August 8th episode of SmackDown, the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre were involved in a tag team match, with Rhodes' team winning via disqualification. Following the match, though, McIntyre attacked Rhodes with the title belt and performed a Claymore as he kicked Rhodes through, like, the wall of the announce table. So a month later, on the September 12th episode of SmackDown, after McIntyre defeated Rhodes' longtime friend, Randy Orton, McIntyre was about to perform the same move that took Cody out. However, Cody Rhodes finally made his return and assisted Orton. Following the brawl with McIntyre, Rhodes stated that he would see McIntyre at WrestlePalooza in a title match, was subsequently confirmed for the event. So, why was Cody gone for so long? Well, one, this was just filler for McIntyre, and we used Orton to build him up. While Rhodes did some fucking maybe final shootings or final, what are they called? Fucking, last shots for their fucking Street Fighter film, possibly. Or he's just spending time with his family. That's possibly too. Anyway, there's really no build-up other than McIntyre being built as a bad guy. This is your classic bad guy versus good guy match, just for the title. So at that point, you got to give the victor, to the champion. I mean, sucks because who are we going to have Cody face next is the bigger question. So, yeah, fucking keep the title on Cody. So my final prediction is Cody Rhodes retains the undisputed WWE Championship. Again, if any more matches get added by tomorrow on the episode of SmackDown, I will let you guys know on X, or I'll post it up on YouTube. But those are my predictions. So I'll read them off again so you guys know. John Cena defeats Brock Lesnar. Cody defeats Drew McIntyre. Punk and AJ Lee defeat Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. The Usos defeat The Vision. And Stephanie Vakir finally becomes the new Women's World Champion. So this should be a good show. I'm not going to be able to catch it because I'm going to be fucking celebrating my birthday. But hopefully you guys catch it. And hopefully you guys fucking enjoy the show. I'll have to catch it at a later date. But that'll probably be on Sunday in the morning. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know who you guys think are going to win in the comments down below. And I will see you guys on Saturday. And Lewis will see you tomorrow for what went down, of course, on Thursday Night Football. Peace.